Purple Daily is daily Vikings entertainment. We just want the Vikings to win a Super Bowl before we die.
I will ride with this group.
Seriously, man. Please.
And away we go.
Happy Thorsday, America. There he is.
Football.
From Matthew Berry's Fantasy Life and from J.J. McCarthy's Family Tree, unofficially, Thor Nystrom here on Purple Daily.
How you doing, guys?
We're counting down the days till the combine. So are you going out to the combine, or are you just a Senior Bowl guy?
I will be in Indianapolis 1 week from now. We leave on Wednesday.
Dude. Wow. So what's the big like steakhouse? Is it St. Elmo's?
St. Elmo's, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Where you get the shrimp cocktail that people rave about.
The greatest shrimp cocktail.
Fashioned.
Yeah, my taste buds, they were born and bred in Minnesota. The shrimp cocktail sauce they have there, it blows your sinuses out. I'm not really ready for it. It like melts the skin off your face like Indiana Jones. But I'll be back, St. Elmo's. We're gonna do that again. I'm gonna take down that shrimp cocktail.
Oh, and the steak. The steak and the slice of prime rib there.
Divine.
Oh, it's unbelievable. And the bill. Woo-hoo, glad I don't have to pay for it.
Yeah, the company. The company.
Yeah,
that's exactly right. And you walk through there on a Thursday night at Combine Week, you will see a who's who of the NFL, of college football, of agents, of NFL media, everyone. You'll see everyone in there,
including parked outside frequently, Jerry Jones's Cowboys bus.
Yeah, sure is.
Which just appears around town. St. Elmo's. The Steak and Shake is the late night stop where everyone goes and blasted and just starts to eat again.
So Sam down.
The hilarious thing is,
yeah, backloaded.
I know the exact Steak and Shake you're talking about.
It's great.
I have eaten there after midnight. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, just backload.
Backload
Just do a couple voyages.
A big fan of that, Rex Ryan. Rex Ryan loved the Steak and Shake.
Steak and Shake and feet.
And feet, I was going to say.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
We're going to talk running backs here today. Vikings running back strategy. We'll do a mock draft simulation. A reminder to you guys that we're going to be doing, I'm going to call it a Purple Daily Unplugged because that's what it is. We've done these at Padrigs before, but we're going to be doing a Purple Daily Unplugged at the North American Banking Company Minnesota Golf Show at 1:30 on Saturday, Minneapolis Convention Center. And Johnny Randall, Vikings legend, is going to hang out with us for a portion of that too. Last year, Thor expressed his love for J.J. McCarthy at the golf show, so we'll see if we can get him to do something similar this year. But tickets are available at mngolfshow.com. The show runs from, the golf show that is, runs from Friday, tomorrow, through Sunday. And every ticket purchased at mngolfshow.com gets 10 free greens fee passes. So, that's like a lot of free golf. So come hang out with us on Saturday at 1:30 on the stage at the North American Banking Company Minnesota Golf Show at the Convention Center. So, okay.
Football.
We've been doing these blueprints, fixing the Vikings up in 60 minutes every Tuesday, and we've had different iterations of what we've done at running back. There's been some where we've kept Aaron Jones for like $7 million. There's been some where we've said goodbye. I think we've kept Cam Akers for a couple million on pretty much every iteration. But before we even get to we want to just do a brain dump with you. Let's start naming more running backs in the draft, and you can expand on that in this episode. Where would you start, Thor, organizing what to do at running back for the Vikings? Jones is a free agent. Cam Akers is a free agent. Ty Chandler is your only running back under contract right now, and he's been kind of booted out of the entire rotation at this point. Nick Chubb, coming back from, he played some last year. It did not go great. It was like 3.5 yards a carry coming off that devastating knee injury. He's a free agent. J.K. Dobbins, Najee Harris is a free agent. So how would you start to unpack the Vikings running back situation on a whiteboard inside TCO Performance Center right now before the Combine?
This is going to be a 4-step process, beginning with either, number one, you had to re-sign Jones to around the contract that you said, or if he won't accept that, okay, thanks for your service, good luck. And then you start offering that to Najee and some of those other veterans that could at least be a solid member of a 1-2 punch. Someone's going to take that contract. So that's step one. Step two, well, actually, this probably should have been step one, but release Ty Chandler. Thank you for your service, but we need the 3 spots open. Step 3, you are going to take a running back in round 3 of the NFL draft with your comp pick. Or if you trade down, say you trade down into the early second round, you get an early third round pick with that. I would take that running back around the third round, potentially round 2, but we'd have to see the holes. But you're taking one on day 2. And then the last step of this, number 4, take a second running back in round 6 or round 7 with a pick that is acquired in one of your trade downs. That is my 3-step thing. And then you have Aaron Jones next year platooning with the round 3 comp pick, be that Devin Neal, be that RJ Harvey, be that Cam Scattaboo, Ollie Gordon. There's a whole bunch of guys that would be good values at the very end of the third round. That dude is platooning with Aaron Jones, which has a twofold benefit to you. Number one, what's been the bugaboo with Jones going back like 6-7 years, his whole career really? He's really good when he's on the field, but then he always gets nicked up, and then he has to miss time, then he has to come back, and the effectiveness can go up and down depending on what percentage he is. Last year, the Vikings didn't have a choice. We talked about this on the show in the fall it was like, when are the Vikings going to start taking Aaron Jones off the field? He's going to break. And then they ended up making the second, for the second straight season, trading for Cam Akers in season. And they eventually started giving Cam Akers some work. They didn't trust Ty Chandler to go on the field. It's why Aaron Jones always had to be out there. And that's why Ty Chandler has to go. But if you have a guy who is platooning 50-50 split with Aaron Jones, you are going to way increase the odds that he stays fresh and healthy for the duration of the season while working your round 3 pick in, breaking him in, be a good, and you can choose him to complement, in this example, Jones's game. And then he gets the 1 year doing that. 2026, he heads in as the 1A. And if he's good enough, maybe he becomes a bell cow. But if nothing else, then you let Jones walk next offseason, and then you can use another draft pick on a running back.
So, Thor.
That's Kwesi calling right now.
Oh,
wow.
there he is. He's at
Oh, wow. He's like, what are you talking? What?
I booked
Running
the table,
back?
8 o'clock, St. Elmo's. Ready to rock.
He said, bro, why did you just say that our plan at running back? Sorry, Kwesi. That's on me.
So, step to that whiteboard and draw a line. And here's where I want you, Thor, to draw that line as our director of scouting. So it's a deep draft. But so when we're talking about like that 1, 2, 3 round span, how deep is this draft in guys that you would give the stars to, the grades to, that would put them there? Because there's a difference between, depth and like the upper echelon. How deep is the upper echelon of this class when it comes to running backs?
I mean, like in the first round, if you're talking the 24th pick, that is only being used for that position for a potential trade up if Genty falls way too low. I was commenting about Daniel. Did you guys see Daniel Jeremiah's most recent mock?
Yeah, he had like 3 running back. He had Hampton and Genty going like in the early 20s. And then one of the Ohio State running backs to the Vikings, right?
It was like Genty 21 to the Steelers, I think maybe. Yeah, and then he had Hampton, maybe was it the next pick?
Yeah.
But in a scenario where Genty falls down to 20, this would require calling Sean Payton, which you're going to have to get through a conversation with Sean Payton. But you call him at that point. Are you guys taking Genty? If it's a no, that would be the only scenario, and you would have to dip into your future resource on that. Just because Genty is the crown jewel of one of the most stacked running back classes that we have seen in my lifetime. Right? Like, I mean, he is the dude. I think he is the best running back prospect to enter the NFL since Saquon Barkley, who went number 2 overall coming out of Penn State. If he somehow fell down the board there, that is the only thing. And I'm only going up a little bit. It's got to be the Broncos, or else you're going to have to dip too much into the future. Barring a ridiculous scenario like that, that's not going to happen. So barring the thing that's not going to happen, it's a trade down. The top of the second round, Caleb Johnson would be my target. And then barring that, Travion Henderson, I would consider in the top half of the second round, but outside of that, I'm going to the third round for my running back needs.
So on the Daniel Jeremiah mock, and I don't think he was doing trades. So Daniel, if you're not trading, you're not mocking.
We're not friends anymore.
But B, he's kind of he's generalizing a position in an area or a range. You're saying, okay, if the Vikings have their eye on Travion Henderson or Caleb Johnson, that it would be trading back from 24 to 30 or into the second round, getting that player and getting some extra draft capital, right? There's no way you would stick. The only running back you would stick and pick at 24 is Ashton Ginty. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, he ain't gonna get to 24. If he got to 20, like in that Jeremiah thing, that's where I would kick the tires on a potential. I'll give you a day 2 pick next year, Sean Payton, and we'll toss you one of the fifths and just see if you could get something done there to hop the teams that in between, because the Steelers assuredly would take him at that point. The Broncos might themselves, and again, this scenario is not going to happen. I expect Genty to be gone no later than number 12, but if it did. And then, with the other guy, for instance, Caleb Johnson, you guys know I love Caleb Johnson. I wouldn't take Caleb Johnson in the first round. If you're early second round, sure, right? Because you will have acquired more picks in your move down. But this is a historically stacked running back class. There's absolutely no reason to choose this year as the year to take a round 1 running back. An idea that I'm generally against anyway. But if you're early second round with Caleb Johnson, that's where I would do that.
So if they are to trade down a Thorsday, what's your opinion right now about what you would potentially pass on at 24? And I think the most important position conversation is the deep defensive tackle spot. Like, where are you at right now on what would cause you to trade down? And if you were to stick and pick, how big is that list of guys that if you had a couple of teams on the phone for a trade, but somebody fell to you, you would hang up the phone and say, I've got to take this guy?
Yeah, it's a small pocket of guys where it's like, if that dude becomes available, then you have to deviate, and we're going to have to figure out the rest of the thing. Because it changes the rest of your offseason plans too.
Correct.
If you only ended up with, let's say 3 picks, right? Because instead of going down, you went up to try to, grab someone who should not be there. It would, then you're going to have to, the UDFAs, perhaps you're going to have to be even more aggressive than usual. And then you might have to sign some veterans to the minimum, fill out some of the end of roster type spots there. But there are guys that would be on that list where it's like, sort of your red siren guys. And if they fall to 20 or somewhere like that, 19, 20, where it's not going to cost your first rounder next year, probably your second rounder next year, you might have to do your third next year and whatever that I would have. Genty would certainly be on that list. As far as the defensive lineman, if there's a run on them above you, I don't expect there to be a crazy run where it sucks all the life out of it. But if there was, and there was only one of the top guys left, I might consider that. But other than that, I have my buckets of guys, and I'm hoping that multiple of them are still there. I'm talking about a bigger list where then potentially I could trade down and still expect to get one of them. You could toss a couple cornerbacks onto that list. We've talked about the 2 guys coming off the season-ending injuries, Notre Dame's Benjamin Morrison, ECU's Siobhan Ravel, guys that could fall down the board because of those season-ending injuries. And then the depth of the interior defensive line class in those top 40 picks. We're hoping that there is not a run on that position group in advance, so it could potentially facilitate where you can have your cake and eat it too by trading down and getting your guy, which we did in our last mock exercise with Kenneth Grant.
Yeah. Okay, just back specifically to running back here. What's funny is I'm on NFL Mock Draft Database, where they put together the consensus big board. They take every big board that's published on the internet and they give you kind of a consent. It doesn't mean that this is spot on of what NFL teams have or what it might wind up being, but it gives you a good idea of the depth at each position. And there are 28 running backs in the top 290 ranked players, which is so 10% of the big board is running backs, which is crazy because you got 11 dudes on offense, 11 dudes on defense, and whatnot. So my question to you is, we know that there's depth here. You can maybe even draft 2 running backs, but Daniel Jeremiah, in his write-up of Travion Henderson to the Vikings, said, hey, they got a first-hand look in their division. When you have a Jahmyr Gibbs-like player, how big of a game changer that can be when you also have a big-time passing attack. So he put Henderson and Gibbs kind of in the same thought thread there. How many, and now Gibbs was a high first-round pick, but how many running backs in this year's class do you think have the potential, realistically, to become like top 6 or 7 running backs in the league if they hit their 90th percentile?
Well, I mean, for that, probably 5.
So Ginty, Caleb Johnson,
Travion, Quinshon Judkins, and Omarion Hampton.
Yeah.
Like all those guys could be, any of those guys could be top 3 backs in the league, depending. But like, yeah, I mean, they all have really, really high ceilings.
So you got to get one of those 5. Is that fair to say? If you're the Vikings, go get one of those 5 guys in some shape or form.
It would be nice. You're going to have to use a round 2 pick, though, to get that done. So,
Okay.
If you want to do that, certainly that would be there. But yeah, and when does the music stop on that? When does the 5th guy go? Right? Like, it's probably middle, but, could it be a little bit deeper than middle of the 2nd round? You'd have to parse that out. Kwesi showed last year he's pretty good at reading the poker table, as far as the J.J. McCarthy thing, not having to hop the Giants at number 6. There was a lot of smoke about that. You're going to have to read the poker table again.
So outside of Genty, take us through the skill set of the 4 guys left as far as like what you think would be the ideal or best fit for what O'Connell does offensively.
I think the 2 best fits would be Caleb Johnson and Travion Henderson. Jeremiah went through the reasons for Travion Henderson. Super duper explosive, really good receiver. You get the explosive plays with him, and he's threshold. So he's this amazing athlete who is threshold size or a little bit above. So it's kind of rare. The only thing I would caution people about, I love Travion Henderson's game. I do. But the only thing that I would caution people, especially when you're starting to talk the 24th pick, or if you traded down to like 28 or 30, talking about him there, Travion Henderson is not a 3-down bell cow guy. You need another running back with him. Ohio State essentially admitted this one off season ago when they gave an enormous NIL bag to import Quinshon Judkins. And then they became the 1A, 1B. And it's not because like Travion, he doesn't have like a well-rounded skill set. He is very skilled. It's because when you give him too many touches, he breaks down. It's the Aaron Jones corollary.
He's Aaron Jones.
That's exactly right. He's got an Aaron Jones comp. So I think he's more athletic than that. And there's some differences there. So that's not going to be my comp. But that is certainly similar. And the receiving game utility is as well. So I'm not going to take a dude with a 1st-round pick, especially in a historically stacked running back class, where I need to have a guy who fits in with his skill set so he can take 30, 40% of the snaps.
On the free agent front for you guys, we've gotten a lot of questions about Nick Chubb. And Nick Chubb was on potentially a Hall of Fame trajectory for the first 5 years of his career in Cleveland. He was a 4-time Pro Bowler. He was an All-Pro. He was regularly over 1,200, 1,400 yards. Devastating knee injury in 2023. Comes back, plays 8 games last year, just getting his feet back on the turf. Only averaged 3.3 yards per carry. He will be 30 years old in December, so this is his age 29 season. PFF projects him as a 1-year, $3 million contract. Would you consider a flyer? Let's say, I don't think there's a world where you have Aaron Jones and Nick Chubb, but like if you don't want to pay $7 million for Aaron Jones, is there a world where it makes sense to take a flyer on Nick Chubb?
I would have to feel it out with Nick Chubb if he's okay coming here as Leroy Horton, right? You also have the Browns to the Vikings connection, but that's what he would be here. It's like, Nick, you're not going to be the lead back. You're gonna get us the tough yards, goal line and short yardage, and you're gonna complement the rookie we bring in.
What's the price point there? Because the more, and I know that the cap is now increasing, and so the cap is not going to be a problem. And plus, the Vikes have a bunch of money to spend. But the more I think about it, I don't know if I want to go $7 million again for Jones. Like, he's going to be in a timeshare of sorts. I really like him as a player, and I think that he brings a lot of intangibles. But like, what's your price point, guys, for a veteran back? Because while the run game is sort of reestablished its importance, I don't know that you're just going to be throwing around, cash at guys that aren't Derrick Henry or Saquon Barkley.
Well, I would say another aspect to keep in mind where you have to be careful saying, all right, let's just turn it over to a couple of rookies that you drafted or a rookie is you do have a first year. If J.J. McCarthy starts, you have a first-year starting quarterback. And you might wind up cutting C.J. Ham too, who's your most reliable pass protecting back.
You might.
You need. Well, he's in his 30s and plays. Even if he comes back, he plays 20% of the snaps.
Yeah.
who is the running back helping to pick up blitzes? Like, who do you trust back there? And maybe it's Cam Akers, for a couple $1 million, and then you bring in. And that's where I'd throw it back to Thor and say, have you done enough deep diving, not just on their running abilities, but these running backs we're talking about? How trustworthy are some of these guys as pass protectors staying in against the blitz?
Yeah, I'm through some of them, not all of them, but some of the the top of the group, if nothing else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I guess that's something that they have to figure out is if you let's say you throw in one of these Ohio State kids or Caleb Johnson, is that a guy that you're only going to hand the ball to and throw the ball to? And if it's 3rd down and 8, he's coming off the field because you don't trust him to stay in and pick up a linebacker? Mm-hmm. Or, what do you do in that scenario is the question. Like Aaron Jones can play on 3rd down, obviously, and you pay the extra money for that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like if you are gonna pay the extra money for that, right? Like stretch yourself, we'll that amount of cap space we're comfortable with. I don't know that you're going to take the round 2 running back. At that point, you might do the round 3 thing. Because also, you take the round 2 guy, he's your RB1 bell cow dude, right? Unless it's Travion, right? The other 4 guys certainly would be. I don't know if Aaron Jones would be comfortable with that. You could go cheaper with Chubb if you did Travion, right? Those guys would fit together. You have to fit together the skill sets of the two. Correct. While not stretching yourself beyond your means in terms of both cap and the draft equity. But yeah, I want to sign one veteran, and then I want the two rookies there. So we're just mixing and matching.
So I think if they draft a back, let's say in the 2nd round, I think what we're talking about here probably is a timeshare that involves this. The veteran plays on 3rd down and comes in then. Because, I mean, there's a good chance that you're not going to trust from day one a draft pick in pass pro. Like, eventually, you certainly want to. And then to play this out, you probably would play the veteran like on every 3rd series. Something like that. But so the Aaron Jones pass pro conversation's intriguing. Here's why. He can do it. He's pretty good. He's small. Like, he gets hurt there. And so, like, I think it was the Packers game here late in the season, you guys. I literally saw him, and he threw the block, God bless him, but he got forklifted off the ground and thrown. And he got the block, but my question is, if you're going to go in, hey, we trust the draft pick to catch passes, we certainly trust him to run the football. But at the end of the day, we're going to sign a veteran who can come in passing situations on 3rd down. Is Aaron Jones the best fit there? He can do it, but I don't know that physically he is the best fit.
Yeah, I mean, as far as that specific role goes, probably not for the reasons that you stated. I would be surprised if they move. I think CJ Ham's going to be there until he's on a.
These guys have been trying to cut him for weeks, man.
Well, yeah. I mean, he's like a top 20 cap hit, playing 20% of the snaps. So you got to do something about that. If you can save a little money and keep him around, that's fine.
As you guys know, they love him in the building. I don't know if the Wills will be able to. They like their buddy CJ too much. So I don't know if you're gonna be able to get there, but maybe. I'm not quite as concerned. You'll be able to find amongst those top 2 guys someone that can pass block. But again, I sort of expect CJ to be back. But
I'll say this about 2 of the free agents out there. Nick Chubb is a total wild card, and he might just be completely cooked. J.K. Dobbins, of all the running backs that were qualified on PFF last year, 50 qualified running backs. J.K. Dobbins had the 4th highest pass protection grade, and J.K. Dobbins also last year was 8th among all running backs in yards after contact per attempt. J.K. Dobbins very much, when he's healthy, kind of a hard-nosed, trustworthy guy out there on 3rd downs, and then I know that Najee Harris, and by the way, at $11 million a year PFF, I'm out on that number for Najee Harris. But Najee Harris had, in terms of missed tackles forced, he was 7th out of 50 running backs, just behind Jahmyr Gibbs in missed tackles forced. Now he's not getting. Jahmyr Gibbs is gonna force a missed tackle and then run 30 yards past everyone. Najee Harris doesn't quite have that breakaway speed that Jahmyr Gibbs has. But if you're looking for guys to break some tackles and to just be maybe stretching it a little bit further in close quarters, there's a couple guys out there in free agency if you're not in love with Aaron Jones for whatever reason. So.
Yeah, that's for sure. And Najee is really good in the pass game. He's a good receiver. The thing you don't get with him is the explosion.
Yep.
I would want, in that case, whichever veteran is going to take the 1 year, $6 million or less contract or whatever, we're cool. And then, trying to mix and match to a 3rd round pick skill set. At that point, we're going to try to get someone who has the explosive element, who's really good outside the tackles. Then we'd be looking more like RJ Harvey kind of guy to match with Najee, right? So the good thing is you have the free agency in advance, so you're going to know the skill set of that guy, and that's going to kind of inform, I think, lead the dance of which running back you end up taking in the draft. But yeah, as far as the running backs, the realistic options, Caleb Johnson's my dude for sure. From Iowa. I know Gopher fans locally have nightmares about Caleb Johnson because of what he did in late September to the Gophers. I really, really like that fit. He is a pure zone runner. Prior to this past season, Iowa, because of Kirk Ferentz's background as an offensive line coach, he was a offensive line coach for the Browns back. We're talking a lot about the Browns today, but that's where Ferentz came from. He loves to teach the zone blocking. That's what he's comfortable with. Well, previous to this, his son, up till October of 2023, Brian, he was the offensive coordinator. He's kind of this dippy guy. But anyway, he just called inside zone, outside zone with no pre-snap motion. So it was like this the defense knew it was coming. It's like one or the other. Yeah. Iowa brought in this new offensive coordinator, Tim Lester, who added mid-zone and basically molded it from what they had before to something that's very close to what the 49ers and Rams run, and the Packers as well, as far as their run schemes, where you have the inside zone, you have the mid zone, and then you have the outside stretch zone. And Caleb Johnson just went nuts. The middle zone turned out to be a nice sort of faster pitch for him, if you will, as opposed to the outside zone, which he's very good at too. Outside zone, you think like Le'Veon Bell, you think waiting for the blocks to develop, waiting, punch the gas. The second that you see it, you're trying to manipulate second level defenders. It's a cat and mouse game. When am I going to go? When am I going to go? When am I going to go? And through what door, right? And so that's the outside zone game. Mid zone, you go forward quicker. The offensive linemen are allowed to attack their marks quicker, so it's not as slow to develop. Caleb Johnson runs really hard. So that was a fit for him. He does the whole puncher thing on the inside zone concepts, and he's really good on he'll look like Le'Veon Bell on the outside zone concepts. This is a zone running back, but he is a very, very good one. And he's being slept on, I think, a bit now. The media consensus does have him in the top 5. I looked at the consensus board a couple of days ago. I believe he's RB4. People out there I see on Twitter, they're like, oh, this guy's going to run in the 4.6s because he's a big hammer back. He's 6 foot, 225 pounds. No, he won't. He's going to be running in the 4.4s. And I believe in the low 4.4s at that speed. He's a speedster. People just haven't seen him, and then they just see his size, and so they try to, oh, he's a plotter. That kid can run, really good feet, really good vision, instincts, etc., and a tackle breaker. I think he'd be a perfect fit for Kevin O'Connell's offense.
Football, yeah.
I am ready to go right now. Let's get to TCO.
Now.
Let's start training camp. Somebody shovel the snow. Let's go.
Do it.
Let's waste no more time here. All right? Let's put one of these guys in. Let's put one of these guys in purple here. But first, a shout out. Thank you guys for supporting our partners here that keep this a 7-day-a-week show on Purple Daily, 365 days a year, so we can speculate recklessly with you. MSP Plumbing, Heating, and Air helping out the Purple Daily faithful, Judd.
Yes, and guess what, folks? The week of freeze continues. That's right. The week of freeze just continues. It won't end, and that means that your poor furnace is working OT. And if you have any issues with plumbing, heating, cooling, and drain needs, contact my friends again at MSP Plumbing, Heating and Air. 100% family-owned and operated business. MSP committed to taking care of you and your family. And part of that is through building trust with how they do their business, and that means making sure that when you call them, you say, I'm going to call them again, and they take care of everything. Right now, book a $49 plumbing inspection by Friday, which is tomorrow, and enter to win 2 tickets plus a $100 gift card to the March 9th Wild game. And for service, call them 651-615-4292 or check out their website, calmsp.com. Call msp.com. They are going to make sure that your home is safe and sound. And again, if the furnace is starting to cough a little bit, MSP Plumbing, Heating, and Air will make sure that that gets fixed.
Also, a shout out to Minnesota Rusco, Minnesota's hometown remodeler since 1955. Cody and Casey running a great operation over there. Almost 70 years of experience, Minnesota Rusco, when it comes to anything you can think of to be remodeled. Windows, doors, siding, bathroom, kitchens, decks, roofing. Maybe you've been talking about with your significant other, this is the year we're finally going to do that kitchen remodel, that bathroom addition, whatever it is. Well, maybe you should take advantage of the February offer here where Minnesota Rusco is offering no interest, no payments for 2 full years and 70% off all labor on everything they have to offer. They'll also get you a free gift box with every appointment as well. Look how courteous they are at Minnesota Rusco. Decades of experience helping people make their remodels a reality. Go to minnesotarusco.com to find out more or to schedule your appointment, minnesotarusco.com. And then one more shout out to Padrigs. Padrigs, a great place to belly up and enjoy a brew, Judd.
Yep, correct. And here's why. Because what they do is beer. They don't do a bunch of different drinks. They're not trying to make a drink here, a drink there, a craft cocktail here or there. They are just doing beer. I've been telling you about their red for a long time. It's absolutely fantastic. A dry stout English IPA. I could go on, but I would prefer that you take the advice of Sports Dad and try Padregs. 6-packs now available throughout the Metro. Lunds and Byerly's, Kowalski's, Haskell's, Hy-Vee, Total Wine, Cub, and MGM. So if you do not see Padregs in your liquor store or at your favorite bar, guess what? Ask and they will deliver, because Padregs doing beer as well as it can be done. And take my advice and try that red. It's hard to find a good one these days, and they do it to perfection.
All right, here we go. Let's pull the PFF mock draft simulator up here. Our senior scouting director, Thor, will make us smarter here. And we're going to go off of, we can do this going forward here. We're going to go off the Tuesday 4.0 blueprint episode as kind of the structure for the mock draft exercise. So what we did on Tuesday was we signed Milton Williams in free agency as a defensive tackle. So we got Milton Williams up front with Harrison Phillips and some depth guys. We said goodbye to Byron Murphy Jr. and Cam Bynum, too rich for our blood. We signed Asante Samuel Jr., so our cornerbacks are Asante Samuel Jr. We brought back Shaq Griffin and Mekhi Blackman stepping in. Could still use some depth at cornerback. Safeties, we signed another veteran. So it's going to be Justin Simmons and Harrison Smith, from two of the top cornerbacks the last decade in the NFL, but on the wrong side of 30. Then Theo Jackson, Josh Metellus, etc. We signed Patrick McCarry and Kevin Zeitler to be our starting guards. Garrett Bradbury was a restructure. And then Darisaw, Brian O'Neill, obviously. Running backs, we said goodbye to Aaron Jones. So we have Cam Akers and a big shrug emoji here, Thor, right now at running back. So I think biggest needs are going to be running back. It's still long-term interior offensive line, defensive line. You can never have enough. Cornerback long-term. And then Judd's 7th-round wide receiver du jour if we can corral a 7th-round pick. So let's do this. Let's start the mock draft. And we'll see if there's any, we'll stop at like around pick 20 and just kind of see if there's any reason to trade up. So here we go. As we speed down 16, 17, 18, 19.
Kenneth went way early this time.
Oh, boy.
They may have updated their algorithm. So let's go back.
He went 13th or something.
Cam Ward 1 to the Titans. Travis Hunter 3 to the Giants. Shadur Sanders 6 to the Raiders.
You see Jade Barron 5? He's flying up there too.
Wow, Jade Barron, cornerback, Texas. Ashton Jeanty to the Bears at 10.
It's all your fault. Oh, that's not good.
Not good.
Kenneth Grant, defensive tackle, Michigan, 13 to the Dolphins. But, this makes our decision pretty easy to trade back, right? So we'll resume the draft. We'll get to the 24th pick where we are on the clock, boys. We have the 24, the 97, the 139, and the 160 are our 4 draft picks. Walter Nolan just went 23rd.
Yeah. Walter Nolan you would have had to consider, but he's gone 2 now. So, I think this one's pretty easy to trade down.
Okay. Here's the offers we have right now. 4 offers.
We don't trade with the Lions anymore in the first round.
Yeah, the Lions
Bad
at
luck.
28. So Lions at 28, Saints at 40, Colts at 45, Buccaneers at 51.
I don't love the big drop there. But let's try 40. Let's just see what we got.
So the Saints, if we'd move back 16 picks. I know fans hate this, but we
need a lot.
And then let's ask for the 71. So we get the 71.
Yeah.
Ooh, we could ask for the 93. What if we kick in the 160? Should I see if this will go through?
Yeah.
Accepted.
Okay,
Holy cow. Okay.
All right.
So we now have. All right, let's resume the draft here.
We got 3 or 4 day threes now.
Yeah, we have
got
the
4.
40, the 71, the 93, the 97. We have 4 day 2 picks.
All right.
And then the 139.
Okay.
We're back on the clock at 40.
Morrison. This might be our first time taking Morrison. I mean, this is the scenario we talk about where maybe there's some medical teams that are skittish because of the hip thing, cause him to fall down. If that kid had never been injured, he'd be a top 15 pick in this class. No doubt about it. And he's a great fit for Flores. But yeah, the hip thing is what that's going to come down to.
Benjamin Morrison, cornerback from Notre Dame,
So-
is Thor's talking about there.
Is there thought to a back here, or is the running back class too depleted by now to pick here?
Tyler
Yeah,
Booker's there too. Okay,
let's do this.
We got a couple options.
This is kind of crazy. Yeah.
Oh,
So
yeah,
let's put
we'll
all
try
of our
that.
needs on the board here. Let's go.
Right.
We'll just kind of whittle this down. Running back, interior offensive line. Let's put cornerback up there, and then we'll put, just for fun, we'll put defensive interior, just to see. So yeah, Benjamin Morris. We have the 40th pick. Benjamin Morrison's the top player on the big board. The top running backs on the board are, so it looks like all your
Caleb's
guys
there
are
too.
gone, dude.
No. Caleb Johnson's there.
Oh, they just have him lower. Oh wow, okay.
They
sitting there.
devalued him, Thor.
Okay, well, we do have 4 more
Disrespectful.
trade offers. Do you want to keep trading back?
I think what so can we make this pick and then in like 8 picks pause it, because then I want to try to trade up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do
All right,
that.
I'm gonna have to do this very quickly.
Yeah.
So you want Benjamin Morrison?
Yes.
turn
We're gonna
Turn the
take.
speed down too.
Yeah. Turn
Yeah.
the speed down.
Okay, good call.
We're gonna
Yeah,
take.
come on,
Morrison.
Mackie.
Declan's our speed of mock draft
Yeah,
operations
turn the speed
director.
down, Mackie. What are you doing, Mackie?
We're gonna try to thread the needle here and get Caleb Johnson in like 8 to 10 picks by trading back up.
Okay.
Okay.
So we're gonna take Benjamin Morrison here with the next
Come on
pick.
down.
All right.
Oh, his hip just broke. Oh no.
How do we? Okay, we want to.
He's
So
okay.
we're going super slow mo.
Yeah, like somewhere between like 48 to 50, somewhere like that.
Okay, Jack Sawyer, come on. Colts aren't going to take one.
This is obnoxiously.
Falcons
slow.
aren't taking
I like
one.
it. Dispensed.
Arizona's not taking one.
No, Miami ain't gonna take one.
Miami's not. The Bengals might.
Bengals.
Let's chill on the Bengals for a
Okay.
second.
Okay.
Oh, hold on. No, they're not.
Well, so Seahawks. How much do you want to thread this needle? Is the question.
The Bucks. That's probably the latest we could go, because if Denver,
Tyler Booker just went. By the way, the guard from Alabama. That's a
we did sign 2
blow.
guards in free agency, right? Like in this exercise.
Yes.
yeah. I mean, one of
yeah,
them's
yeah.
35 years old.
Yeah,
Right.
but we've addressed it for now. for
Yeah,
sure.
I'd be interested in a center at some point, but yeah, let's engage on a trade here.
Okay, so Bengals, we're going to give up the 71. We're going to ask them. Well, we're asking them to move back 22 spots here.
Are the
Thor.
Bengals going to take Caleb?
I don't know.
Going. We can keep going.
We could go to. I think we could go to 51, and then
do
do
it.
it with the Bucks.
Let's
Okay.
risk it. Let's risk it.
Here we go. Bengals took a wide receiver.
Nice.
Seahawks took an edge rusher from Ohio State.
Okay.
All right,
Okay.
here we go.
Okay.
All right,
right.
there we go. The suspense.
Yeah, this is not bad as far as the ass
So
goes.
we'd have to give up. Well, if we gave up the 93,
Give up. See, instead of 93, 139. What the percent is?
it's 0%.
About 97.
97 is a 60% chance.
Okay.
Okay.
What
I
if
want.
we ask them to kick
yeah,
in the
that's what I want.
236?
Let's go.
They've accepted. They've accepted.
Okay,
trade.
nice.
Okay.
Here we go.
So we're back on the clock at 51.
Thor, you're back in business.
KJ2, come on down.
And you want Caleb Johnson?
I sure do.
You homer from
Yeah.
Iowa.
Yeah.
There
Let's
we go.
go.
That's
What
right.
Jayhawk is next now, Thor?
Yeah, I'm sorry to Devin Neal, but yeah, we just got our bell cow stud.
I'm going to turbo us to the 93 here. I don't think we're trading up again, right?
No.
Okay, at least not yet. Let's see what happens. So we'll turbo this. So far, we have Benjamin Morrison, cornerback, Notre Dame, and then Caleb Johnson, halfback from Iowa with our first 2 picks. We have 3 picks left, so we do pick up an extra. We have 5 picks instead of 4 going in.
My boy Devin
And we're
Neal.
back on the clock at 93 here. Thor.
Just give me a little scroll down, just so I can get an idea. Oh, Dion.
This is Devin Neal and Deion Walker for Thor.
Well, Deion Walker addresses
Jalen
deal.
Milrow for
Indeed.
Thor. RJ Harvey for Thor.
Yeah,
Deion
Thor. Thor, you're sitting pretty
go
right
Deion
now.
Oh man.
This draft's going great.
I was thinking about a small trade down here because we only have, would it be 5 total picks now? What we're
Okay,
sitting at?
Rick Spielman. Let's
Yeah.
calm down here.
Come on.
What?
That's a pick.
I think this is going to be Dion Walker unless.
So here's what we can do. We can move back. The only call we have right now is from the Titans, and they want us to move back 8 slots. Let's see what that looks like.
Yeah.
So we go 93 for the 101. What if we ask for the 118? The 141. We would for sure get the 141.
See at 167 too.
That gives us a 19.
What if we toss in 236? Oh,
Well, actually, they
have
could.
other
They have
ones.
more. The 177, the 240 is a yes. So we pick up that couple extra 7th round picks here.
What do you boys think?
So we'd be getting 2 extra picks in this to move back 8, including the 141.
This would get us to 7 picks total, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But who's gonna? So who do you like the most right now? And are you okay with probably not getting them?
Well, so our defensive line, the way it looks right now, it's Milton Williams from the exercise, and then Harrison Phillips, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, Dion Walker would be the guy. Now he's crazy inconsistent, but the flashes are crazy, and he's the mutant guy. He's the guy that you put over center. And maybe the issue with Dion Walker, he got nicked up a little bit. People are down on he missed time, and then the other thing, the leverage thing. When he can keep the leverage, he's awesome. You can't block him, right? Because it's like a 360-pound load coming forward, and he's got super long arms, and he's tall. He's got a huge frame. But when he starts popping up at the snap, I have a sort of supposition about Dion Walker that, like, if I was in the front office or whatever, I'd be talking to his Kentucky coaches and being like, I have a theory that his playing, his level of effectiveness went down because he would get winded, right? And if you in the NFL cut him down to just playing half the snaps, would you get stud Dion Walker for a good chunk of those if you're not asking him to play the entire game? I think I go with Dion Walker here, honestly, because you need that
Wow.
dude, and this is the guy you drop over center. We get our mutant.
So you would stick and pick here. You would stick and pick Deion Walker.
I think so. I mean, we could manufacture another pick by trading down from 139. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like,
let's do it. Let's do that.
Yeah,
Okay,
let's
so we're going to go Deion Walker. I mean, you've been talking about Deion Walker for weeks. He's kind of got like first round traits, but inconsistency pushes him back into day 2. So we'll throw him in Vikings. And by the way, no pressure for him to play right away because you got, like we said, Milton Williams.
That's the thing. Yeah, exactly.
Just go chill, dude. Just go and then come in situationally. Maybe there's some third down interior pressure packages that he can be part of.
I'm thinking the opposite. You put him in there over center so he can knock heads on the early downs, and then the guys, that you're rotating in. On an obvious passing down, you can put whoever you want over the center, and then the other guys you have coming off, like Jalen Redmond has a high pressure rate, right? He's a situational player, but he could be taking some of those pass down reps. Maybe then you move Harrison Phillips back inside on the passing downs and then Redmond goes and becomes a 3-4 defensive end.
Mm-hmm. So, all right, we're back on the clock at 139, first pick in the 5th round. I'll give you just a view of who's on the board, but we have 3 trade offers. So let's check those out.
Okay, yeah, let's see it.
We're at the 139. The Commanders are the closest team at 147. Otherwise, it's the Bills at 170 that want to move 31 spots.
Let's do it with the Commanders. They have a bunch of late picks too, so we can get our extra pick here.
So for moving back 8 spots, we could ask for the 24, which has a 33% chance of being accepted.
Good try.
And we could also ask for the. Well, we could get their last 2 picks. It looks like
Oh, let's
the
do it.
237 and the
take that.
249.
I want more bullets. Yeah.
Okay,
That's a good
so we'll
trade.
offer that.
Yeah.
Trade has been accepted.
All right.
There we go. We're going to
Look at
resume
look
the
at
draft.
crazy. Look at Thor.
We're doing it.
Adolfo Mensa
Cooking,
just
dude.
absolutely working through this.
Yeah.
All right, we're back on the clock with the 147. Here's what the board looks like. Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt is the top running back on the board from Arizona. Luke Kandra, interior offensive line. Oh, there's Trevor Etienne from Georgia, running back from Georgia.
I like Kyle McCord way more than Quinn Ewers, by the way. Oh, there's our boy McLaughlin, too.
Yeah, Seth McLaughlin, center from Ohio State.
Yeah,
You could grab your center here, Thor.
we could. And that's what I might do. Phil, can you just put the interior offensive lineup really quick so I can make sure that there wasn't a guy that fell through the cracks there?
Yep.
But yeah,
There you go.
we signed those 2. We signed the 2 veteran guards. But then, ostensibly this scenario, you're bringing Garrett Bradbury back, who has 1 year left on his deal. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we, be looking to bring somebody in. Monheim's interesting too. He can play a couple different positions. But yeah, I'm good with McLaughlin here.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Seth McLaughlin, center from Ohio State. He comes in 6'4", 305, and he would slot in potentially as the replacement for Garrett Bradbury. So we're going to pull the trigger on this.
Opening day 2026 right there, Joe.
Yeah,
Could be, boys.
He's coming off a season-ending injury that he suffered in practice in October. He's not a guy that you would be like, right away shove him in, but like you can make sure that he's healthy, and then he can develop there as the interior guy. And if he shows enough in practice, etc., 2026, you're taking over for Bradbury.
And now we're going to get a Rick Spielman special here, boys, because we're going to have 3 seventh. We started the day with no 7th round picks, and damn it, we're going to have 3 of them in rapid succession here. The 236, the 237, and the 249, boys. We're back on the clock. Here's what we have so far. I'll put this on the screen. Benjamin Morrison, cornerback, Notre Dame. Caleb Johnson, halfback, Iowa. Deion Walker, and then Seth McLaughlin.
Man, clean up on Isle Purple Daily right now. We are dominating this draft.
It's going really well.
Yeah, this is good. Clay Webb is interesting. He's a former 5-star recruit who's had signed with Georgia, and then he went to Jacksonville State because like Georgia has a bunch of good, obviously, offensive linemen. He went to Jacksonville State to play for Rich Rodriguez, where they do that crazy hurry up thing and their zone blocking. He's a little bit smaller, but his technique is really good. He's athletic, and you saw Phil the grades there. He was dominant the last 2 years when he went to Jacksonville State and was able to get on the field. This is a zone blocking guy. He would potentially be a fit,
I like that.
With the picks that we have. Yeah, I mean, we need a guard that, that you're going to look at for the next year, signing the 2 older guys. So we'll do that.
Love that. Clay Webb. He plays exclusively left guard, by the way, his 3 years in college there. So, okay, we're back on the clock at the 237. You want to see running backs here?
I do. We're definitely going to take a running back with one of these 2 picks. Rocket Sanders is interesting. Oh, they only have 3 that we could take.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Rocket Ken. Rocket, come on down. You're a Minnesota Viking, sir.
So Raheem Sanders from South Carolina. Last year he had
Rocket Man.
5 yards a carry, 11 touchdowns. He's 6 feet 230. Let's punch it into. So
punch
it in, boy.
And he can block then.
Yeah.
That guy can block.
Yeah.
Get that big body in front of a defender.
If he stays, that guy gets nicked up all the time. But like if he can stay healthy, and you would help him out greatly by, in this scenario, he's RB3, right? We got Caleb Johnson and we got some veteran next to him.
Exactly.
So this would be a great scenario for him. Just use him situationally.
Okay.
And then with our final pick here, the 249, here's
Linebacker,
what
maybe?
the board looks like.
Could do linebacker.
A little depth.
Linebacker depth.
Safety is also a position
good
of
one.
potential need. Not that you're drafting starters at this point, but
Yeah. Phil, you want? Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, go. Oh. You want to toss those couple of positions up?
yeah, which ones?
Let's go.
Linebacker and running back.
That's it.
Well, we just landed a running
Oh yeah,
back, so we're good.
linebacker and safety.
Safety.
Right?
Safety. Sorry. Yeah.
Okay, I'll throw wide receivers up for Judd too because I know he's jonesing.
I'm always interested in them. Like right now is a nice time to be just sort of plucking ones. See what happens.
Oh, actually, Phil, check and throw interior defensive line on there too.
Sure.
I've been forgetting.
Thor's not done.
I've been forgetting to take Thor recently.
Look at Thor cook right now.
I know.
Is Thor still available?
This is a 7th round pick, and he is like vetting it.
I want Thor Griffin if he's
You
still
want
there.
Shiloh's Thor Griffith?
That's
There
it.
he is.
It's right there.
Come on down, Thor. You're a Viking.
Thor Griffith, 6'2", 325 pounds of
because his name is Thor.
That's
Yes.
he's pretty solid too. He ripped up the Ivy League before transferring to Louisville for his last season. That kid was also on the Bruce Feldman freak list before. You guys know Thor's can move. Thor's
The Ivy League. The Ivy League. So
dude.
he's smart.
Smart kid. Yeah.
Okay, here's the reveal. PFF has graded our mock.
If we don't get an A on this, I'm going to be so pissed. How
Your
Okay,
people.
the overall grade is a B+.
Oh, they don't like Seth McLaughlin.
Unbelievable.
They ding.
They kind of hate the Caleb Johnson pick as a B- there too.
Yeah, they do.
We
But
would
they
be
love the
getting
Benjamin
a knock
Moore.
on the door from the police after getting him at 51 because we stole Caleb Johnson. How are you going to ding us
I
for
think
that?
you differ here, Thor, which I appreciate. I think that the consensus on him not nearly as high as you are, but as always, I will side with my guy Thor.
Heck yeah. And we'll bang the table. I just think he's such a good fit for what the Vikings do. But in a vacuum, I have him RB2, but such a perfect fit for the Vikings with his own blocking.
I love it.
Love this, man. So there it is. There's the mock simulation.
That was our best one yet. We dominated that one.
Yeah, I know people have been clamoring too for us to have Thor be part of our blueprint episodes, and we will make that happen for sure a couple times
We do
during
them every
the
week,
season.
so it won't be hard.
Yeah, I
I'm
mean
in.
we could do
Although-
an extra one on a Thorsday too.
Although Tuesdays you will not be on. We can't run the risk. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh,
Okay.
this upcoming Tuesday.
This upcoming Tuesday, we're going to do a blueprint that's going to separate homes. Like
Oh,
it's
no.
going, like it's going to
God.
affect. It's going to affect families. I don't
God.
want to talk about it. I
God.
don't want to reveal too much. All I'm saying
Let's
is
just
that
say, Thor, you want more draft picks?
John,
We're gonna find you
no.
some more draft picks
Yeah,
on Tuesday.
look,
not,
we have
not
to-
that way. Not
every
that way.
permanation. We got to do them all.
No, not that one.
The
That
requests
is
are
gonna-
coming, Thor.
Yeah.
They're coming from inside the house.
Well,
Oh,
okay.
man.
Well, I'll be leaving for Indianapolis right after that.
Exactly.
I won't be able to watch. It's going to be triggering for me. So
Hey, if you want more from Thor, if you want to follow his A-Job coverage, he'll be at the Combine next week at ThorKU on Twitter/X and Matthew Berry's FantasyLife.com for all of his football musings. Great stuff here. Great stuff today. Happy
Appreciate you,
Thorsday. We just want the Vikings to win a Super Bowl before we die. See you guys tomorrow.